Hey everyone, this is Candace Cordelia coming to you with In the Zone and another amazing interview, this time with recording artist Blackway. I'm talking with Blackway today about his song Heavyweight, which has been chosen by the NFL for their 2020 Songs of the Season series. Blackway, thank you so much for joining us. This is amazing.
Thank you. So happy to be here. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So my first question for you is, where were you when you were approached from the NFL or heard about the fact that your song Heavyweight was chosen for Songs of the Season?
I was at home when, when I was approached with the actual opportunity, when we got the phone call, I was at home and I was actually on the phone with my road manager, and he clicked over because somebody else was calling him. Then he clicked back and said, "Yo, that was Jason Campana from Tidal. He wants to know if we can submit a song for the NFL Song of the Series that they're doing with Rock Nation, the project they're working on with Rock Nation." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, this is for me, it's a crazy opportunity, and I'm always quick to jump at those. So we went to the studio. I think the next day after that, it was very soon after that, I went to the studio, knocked out a nice little 4 hour session, sent it over to them, crossed my fingers. About 2 weeks later, we got the call back and he's like, "Yo, they picked it." And for me, it was just, it's one of those things on my milestone that I'm very proud of, because it's like, as an artist, we have these things that we want to accomplish, and like a checklist that we want to check off, like throughout our career. And this is one of those things for me where it's right now, it's very high up there for me. And I'm so grateful to be a part of the project. And I'm just flattered that they, they picked my song.
Yeah, and it's a great song. I did listen to it. It
Thank
is
you.
excellent and awesome, and it seems like a perfect fit for the NFL. I understand that each artist that is chosen, their songs that's chosen for this series, they can also choose a nonprofit because revenue generated from these songs will go to that nonprofit. So
Yep.
I'm just wondering what nonprofit you chose.
So for me, and we had the conversation with the people at Rock Nation, and they kind of gave us the rundown before the song was even recorded, and I was more than excited to help out whichever way I can. So for me, I mean, like, revenue generated from this record was gonna go through the Inspired Change initiative, and from there, you know what I mean, whichever charity they felt like, whichever specific charity they felt like they wanted to generate that to, was fine with me, whether it was, one that would aid in, community police relations, anything that could benefit the Black community in any way. I was more than excited, because like I've said before, a lot of artists like myself that don't have access to like millions of dollars, or aren't creative enough to think of, different things to do that benefit. When somebody approaches us with an opportunity like this, it's like, yes, please, whatever you need from me. And if it's a song and revenue generated from the song has to go here and it's helping this, I'm down, because, some of us, recording a record only takes like a couple of hours, and it's like, it's no effort at all for us. It's not like homework. It's not like a 9 to 5 job. It's not, I live in the studio, you know what I mean? So I was more than excited, and I'll do it again and again and again.
I believe it. That's really cool. And it seems like you have a great relationship with the NFL because you had another song, Bourbon Street, that was chosen or placed rather on the Madden 19 soundtrack. So I'm just
Mhm.
curious to know, how that process was and where you were when you heard about that
I
placement.
actually, I actually, I don't have a personal relationship with anybody in the NFL per se. I guess somebody over there just likes me and likes the music that I make. The Madden thing came about kind of the same way that the Song of the Season Heavyweight thing came about. It was just a phone call. We need a song like this, and I delivered. And it seems like they like what I do because they keep coming back. I think I'm gonna end up on Madden again. I don't want to make any promises right now, but I got an email recently, and it's something that they're in the works with, an updated playlist. So we'll see. You'll be the first person I'll let know when we find out.
Yeah. And then we'll have to do another interview because
We have to do another interview.
yes, I mean, I've written articles and done interviews for In the Zone within esports, and it's just risen astronomically, even this year alone, mind you, even in previous years. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts about the rise of esports has been. And it's been a boon for not just sports, but also for music. So I would love to know your thoughts on that.
I'm all for it. I'm 100% all for it, and just what it represents, the impact that it's making on the gamer community, the opportunities that it's opening up for a lot of just gamers in general. Like myself that came up and our parents used to tell us stop playing video games. There's no future in that, and then freaking 15, 20 years later, there was an entire future in that. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see where it even goes from here because it seems like it's going in a really, really dope direction, and even just how advanced games are becoming every year. I'm excited about the new P5. I didn't get the PS5. I didn't get to pre-order it, but as soon as it's out on retail and I could get it at Best Buy or wherever, I'm running right and getting one because it's just crazy and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about running out to get the PS5. Do you think you'll be successful? Because
I don't know how soon I can get one. I don't know how soon I can get one. The minute I found out about the pre-order link, it was like way too late. And I was like, damn. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll reach out to me for a song
there it is.
and I can get a free one.
Use the connections, Black.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna make some phone calls after this interview.
You have to. Now, is there any sports game that you love to play besides the Madden series? Is there any other games that you find yourself playing, even if you're not the greatest at it, but you really
I, I,
enjoy it?
I actually suck at Madden. I've gotten a few wins here and there, a few lucky wins against some good players. Because I mean, I understand gaming and I understand football, but I don't know so much about it that I can beat somebody that knows the in and outs of football and knows the in and outs of Madden. So
Mhm.
I'm pretty terrible at Madden. I've gotten a few lucky wins. I'm a good 2K player. I'm a good 2K player. I'm pretty good at Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone. Right now, those are my two go-tos right now. I've had a bunch of games in the past, but as I grew older, I kind of like started simplifying my gamer list. And right now, I'm on 2K and Warzone. That's about it, pretty much. I got Hitman in the crib. That's my little when I want to zone in. I play a little Hitman, a little solo game. But aside from that, it's 2K and Warzone.
I like that. Those are fine games. I'm
Yeah.
really glad to hear that. And so we're going to jump from gaming to talk about the fact that you're a Grammy nominated artist. And I just want to throw that out there because that is an amazing accomplishment. So congratulations. You had a
Thank
song in, you're very welcome. You had a song in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack and film. And, what did that feel like for you to have a track in that film and soundtrack and also to gain a Grammy nomination from that?
every moment of that process was more surreal than like the one before that. From just getting the phone call and being asked to work on it was like crazy. Then when we finally submitted like the first rough like draft of the record before we actually built on the production and expanded the lyrics a little bit more. When they first got the foundation, they were crazy about it, and they start sending us like sketches of the scene that they were going to put the song to, which became the leap of faith scene. And for me, that was crazy because they had like this little private website, I forgot what it was called, and you sign in and you can see like all the animations to the scene. And I'm like, wow, I'm literally watching them draw out a scene to my movie, to my song. I'm like, this is crazy. So I'm with my boys and I'm showing them, I'm like, yo, look at this. And they're like, and I don't think they quite understood it. They're like, oh, is that how it works? I'm like, I guess so, right? So then finally, when everything is done and we get invited to the film premiere, and that was crazy. It's like Post Malone is sitting right there, Sway Lee sitting right there. They made Sunflower, Dick Johnson, everybody from the movie sitting right there. And the song comes on, the scene comes on, the leap of faith scene, and it gave me goosebumps because like watching the little stick figures they were drawing to actually watching what it became on screen was like mind blowing. I was with my road manager, my boy, and we were just looking at each other like, what? And then the scene ends. It was like a minute and 30 seconds long, I think. So it's like they played like a good chunk of the song. And then like the whole theater gives it a standing ovation. And obviously I know they're not giving me a standing ovation because they don't even know who I am, right? They're clapping for the entire thing, but just me being a part of that, my song being a part of that, of a reason why they loved that scene for me was like crazy. I couldn't stop smiling. You know what I mean? And again, nobody in there knew it was me that made the song. You know, I was probably the most low key person in that theater. It was like star studded. So yeah, it was just I couldn't stop smiling. It was just a crazy experience for me. Um, and then even after that, like the DMs that I get from little kids, even today, parents always sending me videos of little kids dancing around the house singing a song. You know, from here to Japan to India is like crazy. Kids that I can tell don't even speak English, but they know the lyrics to the song. You know what I mean? So that alone is like, for me, it's up there with the the things that made my life special. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's so nice. So we go from What's Up Danger for Spider-Man, a superhero, to your song Heavyweight for the NFL. And you did talk about that song having a superhero element to it and being written for the superheroes in our lives. So do you find that this is a theme that you're kind of weaving into your songs recently?
Yeah, I kind of like to make people feel that way. I kind of like to make people feel like they're undefeatable when they listen to my music. I kind of like giving people goosebumps. You know, I kind of like when somebody's in the gym and they're working out to my song and they tag me in it. You know, I live for that because I feel like that feeling. You know, I've said it before. Or I told somebody I said, you know, I feel like athletes are like the closest thing that we will get to superheroes. You know, as far in like a fantasy sense, right? Just because of how they're built, the things they do, especially football players. They run fast, they're strong as hell, they jump high, you know what I mean? They do all these crazy things. And for me, it's like I want to make theme songs for them. You know what I mean? I want to get them pumped. I want to make them do their job better. And that goes for anybody that can listen to my song. It could be, you know, somebody that just needs to get pumped up in the morning. They need something to get ready to, you know what I mean? Not just for athletes. So I kind of like doing that, man, giving people lyrics that they feel like they can throw in their caption when they feel, you know what I mean, when they're in their bag. So I like living in that world a little bit. It's fun.
Yeah, and that's even more important for this year too, for 2020,
Exactly.
the year that we've had. So we
You need that.
appreciate your hype music. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
So I'm curious to know, who is the superhero in your life?
Um, Edward Snowden. Nah.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation. Hey man, listen, just to stay on topic, my boy Melvin Ingram, man, he's the closest person I know in that world, you know, and just me being a Chargers fan because of him, me seeing him put in work. He actually flew me out to my first football game. You know what I mean? I had never been to a football game before I met Melvin. So and just seeing him put in work, man, day in, day out in the gym, on the field. I support him. I support the Chargers, even though I come from a Jets family, you know. I got to ride out with my boys. I got to ride out with my friends. So yeah, I'm riding with Mel as far as that goes.
I love it. So the next question I was actually going to ask is who your favorite NFL player is, and I think you've answered that to a certain extent. So now I want to bridge that to who, or rather, what is your favorite NFL team?
The Chargers.
Okay.
The Chargers, because of Mel. I got to. I have to. Like I tell people so many times, you know, I always felt like I needed to support my friends. You know what I mean? If one of my best friends ended up leaving a high school we were at and he went to another high school, as weird as it may sound, you know what I mean? Unless he was playing against us, I got to see him win everywhere against whoever he was playing against. You know what I mean? I'm riding with him. I might wear one of their high school hoodies or something like, nah, I'd never do that. But you know, I just got to ride out with my boys wherever they at, and that's my boys. So I'm riding with the Chargers.
All right. I can't relate, but I,
I
I'm
know a
Philly,
lot of people
so
don't agree with that theory. A lot of people don't agree.
I'm from Philly, so I have to rep for the Eagles. But
I feel you.
I'm not gonna lie, the season this year, yeah,
I know. Like I said, I come from a Jets family, and it's like it's been kind of, you know. But yeah,
yeah,
it's still love for those guys. Always love, you know.
struggles,
Yeah,
exactly,
you still
exactly.
got to ride with them though.
There you go. There you go. So my last question for you, Blackway, is we're heading into 2021, believe it or not, a brand new year. And
Mhm.
this year has been filled with a lot of loss and struggle, but also revelations and revolutions. So I would really like to know what your goals are for 2021, especially, given your music career, what you would like to have happen.
Um, so I'm actually releasing, well, for me personally, so I'm actually releasing my next project, my first album, my next project, but my first official album ever, this month on the 27th. And it's very special to me. It's called New Yana too, by the way. And for a lot of people who don't know, I grew up in Ghana just as much as I grew up in New York. Well, now because I've lived in New York much longer, but as far as my childhood, it's been split down the middle between the time I spent in Ghana and the time I spent in New York. So I actually started recording this album in Ghana last year, November up until April of this year. I added a few more songs when I came back to New York, but the album is done. I'm dropping that, and I would like to see. I would like to see that do some numbers as far as compared to everything else that I've put out, because it's very special to me. It's very fire. I love it. I'm pushing that album all the way through the rest of 2020 into 2021. See if we can get the world to listen to that and appreciate it for what it is. I'm telling my story as far as my experiences in Ghana and New York. Um, and after that, we'll see. You know what I mean? I like to I like to do things day by day, one step at a time, and appreciate it every step of the way. I don't like to really get too much into, well, what do I want to do? I do plan things out very strategically, but for the most part, man, I'm doing it day by day. I planned out a listening party for this Thursday that I started planning like last week. And you know what I mean? We just gonna ride out and see where it takes us. 2021 though, there are some big movies coming out that I've gotten some phone calls for. So hopefully the next movie that you watch might have me in 2021. So we'll see what happens. I can't say nothing yet because nothing's been approved yet, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we will be rooting for you, Blackway, and I have no doubt you put it into the universe. I have no doubt that it's just going to happen for you in terms of even more songs for the NFL. I think they just, someone like you said loves you there. So I think you're just,
Somebody likes me.
you're just gonna keep having song after song placed for them, which is a blessing. So we're gonna look out for that. But thank you so very much, Blackway. It was a pleasure meeting you. I wish you all the best and would love to bring you back on once again for that next song. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. So
sure, listen, I'll be right here with you next time around. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you guys once again tuning into another awesome In the Zone interview where we interview a lot of your favorite musicians, athletes, everyone you could possibly think of that has to do with sports, lifestyle, and culture. We have it here for you. Stay tuned for more content. This is Candice Cordelia signing off.